Right, let's get the live chat up and running. That might be a good idea. Let's find it. There we are. Found it. Awesome. Right, hello everyone, it's me, Spursbraille 96, and welcome to another Train Sim World free live stream. Today I'll be taking a look at the second of the two new routes that come as part of this new package. And that is, well, the longest route in Train Sim World so far, the Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel to Würzburg in center of Germany. This route portrays a section of, I think, the first ever German high-speed rail line. So I'm looking forward to giving it a try. I have had a bit of practice, so hopefully things should go as planned. Fingers crossed. So let's get going. We'll do a timetable. These are what come with the pack, the 401, the 403 and the 185.2, and you can either use the 187 or the 185.5 MRCE or maybe even the 182, I'm not even entirely sure regarding that, but you can use those in freight services as well. So let's do a run with the 401. What shall we do? Let's do a service from, well, let's do the 1009 service, where we drive this train from Fluder to Kassel. And of course it's in dynamic weather conditions. I should have changed it actually to begin with. Never mind. Brody Train and Bus Vlogs, hey, how are you? Nice to see you, hope you're well. Alright. Let's firstly unlock doors. Put the headlights to on. The master lights, instrument lights to on. Activate the brakes. And put the reverser to forward. Anything else we should put on? CIFA. I'm tempted to put on LZB, but the problem is, because I'm using the old controller configuration, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to do the LZB, because I think when you respond, you have, I think with LZB, if a particular situation comes up, say you're nearing the end of LZB running, you have to use the I think it's the PZB switch, and you can't use the PZB switch in this current controller configuration, which is a bit of a pain, but yeah, CIFA will do. It's not too bad. It's just us at the moment. In this old but new 401. Just have to wait. It's a 14 car set, I think, today. Just trying to find some information displays. Yep, that's where we're going. Kassel Wilhelmshaw. I think that's how you say it correctly. I probably got it totally wrong. Never mind. Right, it's time to depart, so let's lock the doors. I should have had a drink. I'm very thirsty. Mouth is very dry. Anyway, let's proceed to our one and only stop, which is Kassel. There we go. Rock and roll. a train that's been very highly requested by the German community in terms of the ICE sets in the game. For me personally, I like the ICE 4. But the 401 isn't too bad. It's of course the very first ICE train set that Germany produced, I think. Certainly looks and sounds different, that's for sure. Ooh, going a bit too fast. Now we can really pick up the pace. Rock and roll. Let's go. It's a cloudless day. Lovely, dry, bright day. Thankfully where I am at the moment, it isn't raining. Sun's actually starting to come out, which is rather nice. Now, of course, this route is dotted with many viaducts and tunnels and bridges. It's in double figures, that's for sure, the total number. Jahawa, or Jahar, that's how I say your name correctly. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. It is so sad that we need to wait another week to play the BR101. Yeah, a little bit disappointing, but yeah, that's just the way it is, isn't it? PlayStation were a little bit late to the party when it comes to releasing all the old DLC for this game, but it's a bit frustrating. I'll be interested to see how many services the intercity trains will occupy. I think they run services at day and night. And 101 is personally one of my favourite German passenger locomotives, one of my favourite German loco DLCs for sure. So it's pretty cool that we get to use it on this route. I mean, you can use the 101 on quite a few routes, can't you? Hauptstrecke Rheinruhr, Hamburg-Lübeck, Nürnberg Dresden, Köln-Aachen, and now Kassel-Würzburg. So you get quite a lot of use out of it. Matt Jennings, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Just going for a blast along Kassel-Würzburg, the longest route in Train Sim World, 116 miles. But thankfully, with the speeds we will be able to achieve, it shouldn't really take too long. Certainly not as long as the previous stream I did, which was on the Cajon Pass. It was over 2 hours, if I recall. Jahar, do you have any idea for when the add-on manager is coming? It's the worst part about playing on PS5. Oh, I agree, it certainly is extremely irritating, but as far as when, I'm afraid I don't know. Your guesses are as good as mine. Dovetail haven't released a time frame as to when we can expect the add-ons manager, but if it was bound to be released before, well, originally it was bound to be released before the launch of Train Sim World 3. It was originally intended for Train Sim World 2 at first, and then Train Sim World 3 at launch, but now it's been delayed. It shouldn't be too long, really. I'd like to predict another 2 weeks, but of course that's always a moving target. Sub-Zero, hey, how are you? I played first, accidentally hit the emergency brakes and couldn't get running. Yeah, this route certainly has a different driving style. It's easier. It looks easy, doesn't it? You know, you can just apply the power and just absolutely go for it, and you know, you can have a look around, see the vistas of, you know, particularly going along the viaducts, you know, the forest and the valleys and all that kind of stuff. And it looks easy, but the signals can quite easily catch you out, as I discovered in in a bit of practice earlier today. As you approach a station, either Kassel or Würzburg or Fluder, the signals can quite easily catch you out, because of course other services will be at those occupying stations, be it freight traffic or intercity express gathering there, you know, having just arrived at the station or ready to depart the station. So certainly the signals are something that has surprisingly caught me off guard. It's very much something you have to pay attention to, because you think, because of the route being so long and really not being that many services, I mean, it's what, 128? I think that's easily, I think, the least busy German route in the series. I think even Rapid Transit new timetable beats that quite considerably as well. So yeah, be aware of the signals. Matt, definitely faster than our trains go. Yeah, for sure. They definitely go a hell of a lot faster than our trains do. That's for sure. I imagine if you did a survey on the passengers of how pleased they would be to use their railway, well, the German railway, I imagine it'll be significantly more satisfying than here in the United Kingdom. Especially with the amount of strikes going on at the moment. I think there was some planned for this weekend, but that's obviously now been called off due to the Queen's passing. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise. Richard Hardy, 101 is my favourite German passenger locomotive, and the 155 is the favourite freight one. Yeah, I drove the 155 a week ago. I really enjoyed it. It's very much an old school locomotive, very different driving characteristics. You know, it's not every day that you have to drive a German locomotive with well, at first what looks to be a steering wheel, but it's a throttle control wheel, which is very unusual. So it certainly brings something unique to Train Sim World, driving wise. Visually it looks like a container, hence why it's known as, its nickname I think is known as the electric container, given its container shape appearance. Yeah, but if you haven't got the 155, I very much recommend you pick it up. It brings additional services to Würzburg. It comes with its own coal hoppers. I think you could use it on pretty much most of the German routes as substituting for freight services. I'm thinking Mainz-Bahn, Austin. I think, yeah, just pretty much all of the German routes that have freight traffic integrated into their timetables, really. We haven't seen an AI German train yet. Thunder past. Obviously I've picked the quiet section of the day. So it should be a breeze, he says. So that's where we're heading to. And and we started roughly here. So it's not a full length run. Starting halfway, then heading to the top, or going north. Then for I think the next trip I'll do a full length run, going from Kassel to Würzburg. Roger, what do you think about the new extension pack coming out? I'll be truthfully honest, I didn't even know there was a new extension pack or expansion pack. I know we've had an old expansion pack before, released earlier in the year, which I was a bit surprised that we haven't. That for PlayStation customers, we can't use that yet. Dovetail haven't planned on releasing it, which is a bit strange. But I didn't know there was a new one in the works. If it is to be the case, then I'll definitely have to have a look. Matt Jennings, would be great to have the 158-9 diesels and English routes, whether South Western Railway to Salisbury or Great Western Railway to Barnstable. Very sturdy and basic trains. Yeah, I mean, they will certainly bring a lot of joy to people who are a big fan of British diesels. I'm certainly a fan of the old school British diesels. Maybe not the type of diesels you're suggesting, but I think a lot of people would welcome that. Whether Dovetail would do that is anyone's guess. I'd love to go in the external camera and have a look outside, but with the vast amount of mileage we're covering and encountering many tunnels, including this one, which is a right long tunnel, it's difficult to get in the external camera and have a look around. Ricky's Creation, hey, how are you? Extension pack for what? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I don't think there is a new one coming. I may be completely wrong. Maybe there is one in the works. Is it me, or is it just starting to fog up outside? I may be wrong. Maybe the lighting having a little moment. There we are. I know the New Journeys expansion pack hasn't come to Train Sim World 3 yet. I'm not sure if that's the case for the Xbox or the PC customers, but certainly, always another train. But certainly for PlayStation, it hasn't arrived yet, and I looked on Dovetail's forum of PlayStation releases, and it's not even in the list of releases in terms of old content coming to PlayStation. So I'm not sure, maybe if they're just integrating the expansion pack to the routes itself. I honestly have no idea. Britta, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Yesterday, Britta did a cargo run on this route, and that was more than 2 hours, but it was bloody amazing. Yeah, the freight is certainly a challenge, not only because of how long it takes, but it's at night time, and I'd love to do a stream of the freight action on this route at night time, but it's not very fun from a streaming perspective, is it? Because you can't really see much. If you play around with the weather conditions, I imagine you can kind of see where you're going, but even though it portrays the real world timings of freight activity on Kassel, Würzburg, I don't think I'll be streaming on it anytime soon. mean, there's none. There's literally no freight service that is at daytime, not even shunting or anything like that. So, bit of a pain, but I can understand it. It certainly clouded up all of a sudden. Now, when I did a stream on Cajon Pass, I was very, I'm surprised, pleasantly surprised as to how little the weather changed. I wasn't expecting a huge downpour in the middle of a Southern California desert. I'm not suggesting that. I was expecting even just, like what we're seeing now, a lot of cloud cover or the sun going in and just being a bit dull and grey, or maybe even a mist descending, but that didn't happen. But now it finally seems that the dynamic system is finally coming into play, which is a first for me. Sub-Zero Scorpion, do you think they might add the Amtrak Express, Seller Express? My George, it's really messed it up now. Look at that. Have we become a transcontinental flight or something? Are we literally in the clouds? Goodness gracious me. Is it suddenly fogged up? How quickly as well it's fogged up too. Do excuse my surprise. Oh, I thought we were coming out of a tunnel then. We're not. Not yet, we're still in the dark. Anyway, in answer to Sub-Zero Scorpions, absolutely. I very strongly predict when the Acela Express will come to the game. I think I did do an in-depth video talking about Acela Express over a year ago. So if you go into my other Train Sim World videos playlist, you'll see that topic that I discussed quite in length as well. Looking at real-world statistics, photography, even I think it even managed to sneak in a real-world video of it in action. So, yeah, I say this: what's the point of Dovetail adding a northeast corridor and reintroducing the brand of Amtrak if all you're going to do is add northeast regional services? It's pretty obvious that the Amtrak Acela Express should be in Boston Sprinter, and I very strongly believe it will be included. I'd be very surprised if it didn't. Now that will go down hugely popular, I think, with United States rail fans, particularly fans of United States passenger activity or routes. Johari comes with a 187, a F, and 182, a F7, Class 66 special services. Well, if that's the case, then special services. Well, if that's the case, then Dovetail have kept that very, very quiet. And if it is what you're saying is true, then I will have to question why they've only given it access to one particular person and not announced it to the wider community. I will certainly be investigating that once the stream has concluded. We've got under 20 kilometers to go until Kassel. I'm not going to pronounce the second half of the station title. I'll get it wrong. Matt, it's great to see when leaving tunnels you have the glare and eyes adjusting to light again. Yeah, it's quite a nice little cool feature. Roger, how is for the new routes that came with TSW3? So was it a 182, a F7 and a Class 66? Well, a 66 I can understand, because I've got a 66 in Southeastern High Speed, but an F7. The only one I've got is on Clinchfield. Steam trophies. Oh, I'll have a look at that. I definitely will. Unless they've enabled views of substitution and got a Clinchfield F7 and just stuck a new livery on it, maybe. Damon C06. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Hope you're well. The TGV layer on Southeastern High Speed is fun, says Britta. I haven't tried it yet personally, but I have seen it in the timetable menu, and it looks quite fun. I think it's like a test high-speed service. When I think the next free services is rail tours. So yeah, when the PlayStation add-ons manager comes along, I think I'll start making some videos again on my timetable and series at your service. I'm just going to firstly wait until all the DLC is available, and then when the add-ons manager eventually releases, I'll be able to get back to making my normal series again, which I'm very much looking forward to. It's just going to be a lot of work to catch up on. A lot of routes, a lot of services, old and new. One thing I'm very much looking forward to testing out is a Peninsula Corridor. Now it's finally managed to get its upgrades. I'm just missing out on the 2 logo DLCs. I have purchased them, I have brought them, it's just I'm just waiting to download them to the PlayStation 5. Right, we better start slowing down. I'm not too far now from Kassel. Or is well, kind of pronounced correctly, Kassel Wilhelmshohe. Or slow, however you say it correctly. Sub-Zero Scorpion, do you think they might add the Metro North New Haven line as well? That's a different story. It's good that they've got the Metro North brand in. I suppose if you analyse the amount of licensed brands we have, not just in Train Sim World as playable content, but in terms of the livery designer as well, I suppose you could literally say all routes that are owned by the brands we have in the game are possible. Now we have longer routes, extensions have been done now, thanks to Southeastern High Speed having a little 40-mile extension. So yeah, not just new routes but extensions as well. Certainly there's a possibility, and we need to brake. Oops, I put it in emergency, that's my fault. Oopsie daisy. Whoops, that's my fault. Whoops, whoops, whoops. My fault, I panicked then, that's my fault. Right, let's get moving again. Just gonna check that all the little switches are off. Come on, there's a switch here somewhere that's turned on. Turn off LZP, I'll turn off CFA. Put on the pantograph. Now I'm completely guessing. I haven't done an emergency stop before in an IC1, so I'm a little bit in the dark. Let's take the reverse. Maybe the brake key. Lock the brakes, maybe. Ooh, I'm not sure. Crikey. They didn't go over it in the tutorial. What's this do? Braking electronic magnetic brake test. That doesn't do anything, does it? Oh, it did it? No, it didn't. Timetable, I'll put that on, I suppose. Wipers, wiper mode. What does these buttons do? Shunting control, release. LZP. Ooh, I don't know. No, I think I'll wait. Maybe it's best if I wait a minute, let the brakes have a cool down, maybe. Let's have a look in here. I know you can have a look inside the engine room, which is nice. I'm sure there's a button in here somewhere that I need to press. Any of these work? Nope. None in here, none in here. Now what have we got here? A plethora of buttons, I'm sure. And it looks like we can't touch any of them. Oh dear. Okay, what about this one? Nope. Any of these, surely? Nope. Any of these? Nope. None of them. That's useful. I could charge the brakes, maybe. What does hill fill mean? There we go. That's charging the brakes nicely. Yeah, rock and roll. We're going to be, actually ahead of schedule. You know what? We might make it on time here. Ooh. Come on, brakes. Have they charged? And they look charged to me. Should we give it a go? Let's give it a go. Please move. Yeah, rock and roll. Come on, we can do it. You can move for me. Please. Yay. Failure is not an option. We need to do it. We need to finish it. There you are. If you wanted to know how to recover from an emergency position, this stream is for you. I'm chuffed with that. Oh, there's a Talent 2 going by. I forgot the Talent 2 and the 146.2 are used as AI on this route, which is nice. no point doing playable surfaces in them, because all they do is go in and out of the map, so not much fun. Seems the sun has decided to come out for the end of this service. Lovely. The sun is smiling down on me. We almost bottled it, but not this time. So here we are at Kassel. Nice little shelter here, very nice. Keep the passengers dry and warm if it was snowing or raining. Oh, there we are. That's fantastic. Very, very pleased. Very pleased with that. Matt Jennings, important thing you did. What any train driver does, didn't panic or rage quit. Of course not. We ended up being late in the end, but I think you can understand my cautious approach. That took me 35 minutes. Oh, not too bad at all. Yeah, right, let's return to the main menu and we'll conduct another service. I think we'll do a full-length run this time, going from Kassel to Würzburg, and we're going to pick a different train. Let's give the 403 a chance to stretch its legs, shall we? Now, this has a different timetable to the 401. This has, I think, longer services, but less services overall, I think. Let's do one in the afternoon, shall we? Should we change the weather up a bit? Should we have a bit of fun? Yeah, why not? A terrible mistake I'm probably making. Let's put it to August. Should we go for a full blasted lightning storm, or shall we not? Or should we have a rain shower? Oh, we have a rainstorm as well. Ooh, okay. What's the difference between a rainstorm and a lightning storm? Oh, the wind is just put up. Let's have a downpour, shall we? Summer rain. Yeah, let's do that. Let's have a challenge. Let's go for it. Christoph. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. The game does lag. It does indeed lag. Thankfully on Kassel Würzburg, it doesn't lag at all, which is nice. Oh, thank you for your kind words, Christoph. Glad you're enjoying the stream, even though you've just joined. Oh, is it pouring down with rain. Normal high beams. Let's turn on the wipers. If they work. Can you hear the distant thunder in the background? Why aren't the wipers working? Ooh, a little flash of lightning there. Yeah, so this ICE 3, now with its wipers working, has the... Excuse me, Mr. Thunder, I'm trying to speak to my viewers. Yeah, this has a green stripe dedicated to Deutsche Bahn being known as Germany's fastest climate protector. Now, this ICE 3 does have safety PIS, albeit they're not working at the moment, which we need to delve into straight away. If I can find what it is, I think it's in here. There we go. The right, is it the left? I don't know. Ah, here we go. Nope. Here. Let's go down, maybe. There we go. Strange. We can no longer enter the destination display. That's a shame. It's broke. Never mind. That's gaming for you. I have to increase put the wipers on all the time now. Alright, so we do have to make a stop at Fluda, which is 86 kilometers away. Matt Jennings, British weather invading the game, of course, of course. It's nice that the lightning is not as I don't know, flashy. It's nice you can actually see it very clearly without the whole screen going white. Sub-Zero Scorpion, I'd like to see high-speed trains from Japan and China. Definitely Japan. I made a very in-depth video of for Tokaido Shinkansen being included in Train Sim World. It's the world's first high-speed line, arguably the most famous, and if not one of the fastest. So, yeah, I mean, you could have different Shinkansen trains in there. You can have the 700M, I think it's known as, or the 700A. That was recently introduced 2 years ago. What else? Part of the Shinkansen network has Mount Fuji, very iconic landmark, and you've got Tokyo. You know, I mean, imagine how busy Tokyo Station would be when departing or arriving in that city. Oh, can it not park? Well, maybe not. There we go. China, I'm not too sure. I know they are very much in the lead in terms of, I suppose, the amount of coverage they have in their country of high-speed lines. It's just ridiculous. I mean, if you go back to 2008, they hardly had any high-speed railway, but now it's just grown into almost like a little mini empire. It's crazy how fast they've grown their high-speed network. And I think there have been high-speed Chinese railways in Train Simulator, I think. think there's like 2 routes dedicated to it, so whether Dovetail would be able to bring those 2 countries in the game, particularly for its high-speed railways, is a great unknown. I very much doubt it because of licensing issues. Otherwise Dovetail would have done it years ago, particularly for Japan. British, it doesn't work, they need to patch. Yep, that's right. I've noticed as well the rain sound effects has remained the same, which is a bit of a shame. I thought they would have changed that. I mean, they haven't changed much really to the rain. I mean, I know they've added some little droplet effects on platforms or but other than that, not much. Snow's had a bit of a redone. They've added some snow effects, and I think the when the snow comes down, I think it's different as well. That? I didn't know if you've seen that just then, but something, a white figure almost just tried to glitch into the tunnel. Presume that was a lightning strike. Very odd. This game is far from perfect, that's for sure. Jahava need to update the München timetable. They certainly do, and the timetable will be updated when the DBBR 420 comes to München Augsburg. When, I do not know. That should be cool. An old school commuter multiple unit. Britta, there are sparks on TSW2 routes as well. That's correct. Not just that, but lightning and thunder strikes as well, which is great. Nice surprise. So there have been some effects that have been included for train sim mod routes of the past, which is nice. We got under 70 kilometers to go until Fluda. You can see the lightning effects in the tunnel. You can see the flashes. It must be really starting to, well, lighten up a bit outside. Why am I on the brakes? I do not know. I suppose it's good that I'm at a low speed, because obviously if it's raining, I don't want to lock the brakes and end up slipping and sliding on the rails. So maybe it's good that I cruise for a little bit, because eventually we'll start going downhill again, won't we? So I suppose I can relax. I could do with a cup of tea, not gonna lie. It's my mum's birthday today. She's sadly working during her birthday, which isn't great. But later this evening I'll be going out for pizza to celebrate. What's nice about Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel to Würzburg is the scenery. Now, even though LGV Mediterranean was my favourite route released in Train Sim World 2, like new route, I have to admit the scenery was a little bit barren, a little bit bare bones. But this, when I first experienced it, I was pleasantly surprised of how the amount of detail there was for the long distance scenery in a route. Now, we're going to be blasting it well over 300, well over 250 kilometers per hour. A route that's 116 miles long, or 186 kilometers. I must say, they've done a pretty decent job, Dovetail. I don't usually give them much credit, but for this route, they actually do deserve a bit of it. Now, I'm not saying that the route detail is 100% accurate to the real world version. Absolutely not. Whoa, look at that. Lightning strike right on the tracks there. Hey. But the landscape, the undulations, the variation in the typography in the route is very, very well done. It's nice that it's just different, being the forested valleys and the fields. There's not much life in this route in terms of passing cars or towns and cities, but certainly the urban, the nature, the landscape is no question better than LGV Mediterranean. I was about to say urban landscape, but that very much goes against what I just said. I do apologise. Sub-Zero Scorpion, I played the TSW 2020 aboard the Long Island Railroad, and when past a certain station you can see the elevated train route from the number 7 line. That's right, there are a few lines that crisscross the Long Island Railroad route. Whether we'll get an extension to the Long Island Railroad, I have a funny feeling we won't. Because one thing's for certain, Long Island Railroad definitely needs more traffic. The timetable needs to be way more busier. It's ironic, isn't it, that Harlem Line is nearly, what is it? I think it has 200 odd services, more than 200 services, and that route is nearly. It's very short, isn't it? It's way shorter than Long Island Railroad. In fact, I think Long Island is 48, 45, 44 odd miles or something like that, and Harlem Line is 24, 25 miles, 26, 27 and it has way more services, so it should be really switched around, you think, wouldn't it? Long Island Railroad has more services than Harlem Line because it's a bigger route, but sadly it doesn't. So yes, that I think needs still a bit of work to let's turn the wipers off. In park, please. Thank you. Paul House, hey, how are you? Hope you're well. Roger, how I'll put the new 401 and the ICE services with the 10. I must say, it's brought up an interesting question. Now that the 401 is in the game, and now that more of the German routes are coming, particularly for PlayStation customers that are coming back to Train Sim World 3. I wonder in the future if Dovetail will allow us to substitute the 401 and use it on other high-speed services, high-speed routes, like you mentioned Augsburg or Kerl-Aachen or Nürnberg Dresden, or even Hamburg-Lübeck, now that has some intercity express services as well. in its timetable. Sub-Zero Scorpion, I'm from New York City, the city that never sleeps, and I'm hoping they add some of the subway routes. Yeah, subways have been metro kind of routes since London Underground Bakerloo line. We haven't had really anything on those kind of lines. So, yeah, I think very much, and for me personally, another London Underground route would be certainly a tick of the box. In terms of things I'd like to see in Train Sim World 3, maybe a London Overground route, or like you said, for New York, a subway system there would be a big draw card for a lot of people who live in New York and play the game, or live in New Jersey and play the game. It's nice that we're having these kind of routes that are close to New York. Like what did we have? We had Long Island Railroad, New York Harlem Line, the Northeast Corridor New York route in Train Sim World 2020. So I think there's loads that can be added to the New York area. There's the New Jersey coastal route. That I wouldn't be surprised if we would see that in Train Sim World 3. I think NJ Transit is an actual brand that you can actually make liveries for now in Train Sim World, be it Train Sim World 2, Train Sim World 3, so it wouldn't surprise me that we'd have the New Jersey coastal route, be that with the extension that happened in Train Simulator, which I think added the Morristown lines, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that I would very much like to see, and with those diesels as well, those dual power diesels, the AOP 45, 46 diesel electric locomotives. I think they could run on DC and or via normal diesel engines, so I would very much like to see that. Let's get under the speed limit. Going way too fast. Dear me. Getting carried away with the speed. We need for speed. A poor house, I need to go further downtown Manhattan. Jersey route as well. Well, you got under 30 kilometers to go until Florida. With the rain showing no signs of receding. Well, it wouldn't do. I changed the weather to custom. Oh, we're going way too fast. I didn't check the length of the train. I wonder if it's two sets connected together or just a single set, which is something you can do on this route's timetable. I don't think you can do that for the ICE1. I haven't seen an ICE1 service with two sets connected together, but I have with the ICE3. Sub-Zero Scorpion, New York City has the largest subway routes in any city in the United States. That kind of doesn't surprise me. The city is famous and as vast as New York. I would expect that a pretty big. I wouldn't be at all surprised, you know. But not surprised that it has a pretty vast, massive transit system, subway or overground or whatever. There's a lightning strike right in the tunnel. I think Dovetail need to get a hold of these lightning strikes and control them a bit more. They seem to be striking all over the place. It's cool, don't get me wrong. But I think trying to strike in the tunnel is a little bit too far. And then again, I've never seen a lightning strike happen above a tunnel, so I don't know, maybe that's legitimately a thing, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen footage of lightning in a tunnel. That's where we are, that's where we started, that's where we're stopping, and that's where we're going. We've got a long way to go still. Right, I'll say all the usual YouTube shenanigans. If you did enjoy this stream, I'm sure you did, make sure to give it a like. And if you are watching either live or on playback for the very first time, I would very much appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel for more Train Sim World streams and content from me. The next stream, don't know when the next stream is actually. I usually do streams on a Sunday and a Monday, but the next 2 weekends I won't be able to because due to work commitments. So the next stream I will be doing, I think, will be, blimey, I think it will be in October. Wow, October the 2nd, in fact, 2022, and we'll still be on Germany. I will be doing some shunting with the DBBR 204. So make a note in your diaries for that. Quite amazed how long it will be until stream. Nearly half a month. Blimey. Well, to those of you that could make it for today's stream, then yeah. I'll roll out the red carpet to you. Be it joining for the first time, of course. Welcome. I'm glad I didn't do a stream last night when my soccer team, Tottenham Hotspur, miserably failed in their exploits in Europe yesterday. Dear me, it was terrible, shocking game. Lost right at the end. Away to Sporting Lisbon in Portugal. Never mind. There's always next time. Lightning strike. I think I'm beginning to lose count how many lightning strikes are in this game, in the tunnels today. Poor House, no LZB today is fun to play that on. It is certainly fun to play with on, and I've actually tried LZB on, and it's very, very useful. The problem is that because of the control scheme I'm using, which is the classic one, because I like to get rid of the little cursor when playing, you can't use the PZB button when it comes to LZB ending near a station, like Fluda for example. So it becomes very difficult for me to do that. Now you could just say, oh, just do it by the buttons. Yeah, but then I'm not focusing on what's going on straight ahead. Which is something I kind of need to do when driving at over 200 kilometers per hour. But anyway, without it turned on, it's more of a challenge. So I suppose there's two sides to every story. Or two sides of the coin, I should say. Whoa, need to brake now. We're going way too fast. Oh, I think I may have bottled it here. That's my fault. Too busy going too fast. Ah, rapid braking. I don't think we're gonna make it. We're not gonna make it. Oh, it's gone green. Oh, we might be okay. Stop. I beg of you. Whee! Saved by the signal. We've gone miles over, but I'll take that. Phew! That's me not concentrating. Hey. We stopped just. How far over? Oh dear. Quite a bit far over. I suppose I can reverse a little bit. I suppose I can reverse a little bit into the platform. Thankfully the emergency brakes are not a disaster, so that's good. Oh, the parking brake was on. Was it really on all this time? Or maybe it's just the light showing it's turned off. I don't know. There we go. Right, that'll do. I'll just ease my way into the platform. We've got plenty of time. Don't want to go over the red signal. I think that will do. Well, it's a bit better. We got a freight locomotive over there. Anyone getting on? Nope. Anyone getting off? Well, maybe. Now we've got to wait a very long time. Whilst we're waiting, I think I'm going to go for a comfort break. So I will see you lot in a second. Right. Got myself a cup of tea. Now we've got to make up for lost time. It's a nice view, isn't it? Let's go. Go, 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 go. Let's proceed to our next and final stop, which is Würzburg, Hauptbahnhof. Now that I can pronounce correctly. Back in the cab. Poor house, the route is tricky. It's certainly trickier than it looks. Don't underestimate it. Sub-Zero Scorpion, I'd like to see an Amtrak California route as well. I know there's a long-distance train, Amtrak train called the California Zephyr or wherever it's called. I love those Amtrak long-distance trains in America. I think there's one that goes down from New York to, was it Florida or something? Yeah, those kind of long-distance trains I really, really like. Now, if people would like that, like to have that in the game, that's a different story. Well, we're due into Würzburg in just over half an hour's time. Judging by how fast I was going in the run-up to Fluda, I imagine we should be easily able to get there ahead of schedule, providing I don't bottle it, of course. Ah, lovely. Lovely, perfect. Cup of tea, driving in the rain. You can't ask for more. Hey, Foxy. Hey, nice to see it. Did you conquer the signals? I did, just about. That's right, Foxy, I did just about. I've done one run so far. I went from Fluda to Kassel. That went fine, swimmingly well. This one in the rain is a bit more of a challenge. To tell a story, to keep the story short for you, I nearly ran through a red signal. I was actually approaching Fluda too fast, even though I managed to get on the brakes. Literally just as I was about to thunder through the platform and almost certainly hit a red signal, the signal mercifully changed to green, so I was able to come to a stop and continue the journey. This train I'm controlling today is it a 16-car train, I think? Let me just check. It is indeed a 16-car train. So 2 sets of ICE-free units connected together. It's nice that you get that variation of services, be it services with just one single ICE set or ICE-free set, or services with 2 sets of ICE-free units connected together. I'm not sure if that applies to the 401 ICE-1. So far I've only seen just single 401 sets do services, be it myself or AI. So I'll have to have another look at the timetable later today. Sub-Zero, Scorpion, the Amtrak, Silver Star, and a Meteor. My favourite names of them. Wow, Meteor and Silver Star. Sound like something you hear from Star Trek or Star Wars. What crazy names. Awesome. I wish our trains were like that here in England. I tell you, I really need to save up and go to America. I am desperate to visit the States. So many places I'd like to explore. In good old US of A. I'm going to Netherlands and Belgium and Germany next year. Going to the capital cities, Brussels, Amsterdam, going to Hamburg, but that's obviously not a capital city, so nearly all the capital cities in those countries. Wasn't able to go to Berlin, but Hamburg I thought was quite nice. I know a friend of mine that lived in Hamburg for 13 years, so she recommended that yeah, Hamburg, give it a look into. So I did, then me and my cousin, and thankfully persuaded my mum and my sister to say, hey, why not come along with us? If not, we'll both go on our own. It's perfectly fine. Yeah, but Hamburg's very interesting. Lots of culture, history and architecture, much like any city really you tend to visit if you're abroad. Imagine good food as well. And obviously the transport links I'll be kind of familiar with. Thanks to Train Sim World. Not the Hamburg S-Bahn, but maybe Hamburg Bahnhof Station. I'll be familiar with that. You know, its interior and exterior. Why have I got the wipers on still? I do not know. There we go. Foxy, I live near Hamburg. Oh, awesome. Do you want some tips to visit apart from the main station? Yeah, sure. Any tips will be welcome. I'll be going in April next year. For now. As long as financially it doesn't get too out of control back at home. Just over 60 kilometers to go until Würzburg. Sub-Zero Scorpion, I rode Amtrak from Hollywood, Florida to Los Angeles, California, and it's 3 days. It was one of my favorite experiences. 3 days, wow. That's a long old train ride. But I imagine it must be just as spectacular. I've noticed the CIFA is not on. Why is that then? I feel I forgot to turn it on. Oh, I do apologise. Oh well, there's nothing I can do about that now. I'll have to just keep going. Onwards to Würzburg. Philip W. Hey, how are you? You're from Würzburg. Oh, very nice. Yeah, I'm just travelling to Würzburg Bahnhof in the game. Foxy, so visit the old historical buildings but also get an umbrella with you. You never know in Hamburg. Just look at the old buildings, but also in Hamburg there are a lot of tour buses for sightseeing. Yeah, tour buses. I think when I went to France earlier in the year, I was tempted to get a tour bus, but I thought, why not just go on foot? explore at my own kind of pace. But the caveat to that is that you're not sure where all of the best places are to see, other than the iconic ones, I suppose, all the obvious ones. Yeah, but Hamburg, very nice. Certainly by the pictures. I mean, every city has its ups and downs, doesn't it? But yeah, Hamburg is a good football team as well. Hamburg SV. Sadly, not in the Bundesliga yet. I wish them a successful return to the Bundesliga. John Paul, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Any tips? What should be the ideal speed or the right timing percentage or braking you should set on before entering the station platform? I'm always considering the comfort of the passenger. I think the best tip for you would be particularly on Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel, Würzburg. It's always great to maximize the speed limit in, say, between the main stations, because that gives you a huge advantage on time. For example, I was rocketing along to Fluda earlier in the service, where I had to make a station stop, and I actually ended up being 5 or so minutes early. So if you are, say, approaching Fluda and you look at the clock and you're 4 or 5 minutes ahead of schedule, that gives you enough time to, you know, come off the throttle, lower down the speed, and cruise into the respective station that you wish to stop at. So for high speed, always maximize the permitted speed in between the stations. I mean, the beauty with Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel Würzburg is that the timetable is not very busy. I mean, it's 128 services across 24 hours on a 116-mile route, so it certainly gives you a very good chance to practice your almost driving techniques as to how to, you know, bring the station to a stop in a realistic and reasonable manner. Now, even though I'm not the most realistic of drivers, I must admit, but you certainly do get a good chance to portray those kind of realistic operations, as you would see from real-world drivers. If you are driving on Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel Würzburg, LZB is a very good way of conducting your speed without having to worry as much, like manually controlled. I mean, I'm doing it totally manual control, but with LZB or PZB or AFB enabled, that brings a completely different and realistic driving experience to Kassel Würzburg. I think in this game there is a tutorial on AFB and LZB. On my channel I actually have done videos on the tutorials, so if you want to view LZB and AFB tutorials in its full, that's the video for you. Lovely. Foxy, you can also visit Lüneburg and its old historical city. It's not a part of Hamburg, but a historical city in Lower Saxony. Nevertheless, you can get a map by Deutsche Bahn Information or Tourist Center. Ask them where to go. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Always ask for help. Foxy, Lüneburg is just one train ride from Hamburg main central station away. Oh right, I see. And the central station is huge, and there was always a lot of people, so watch your pocket always when being in Hamburg. Well, after being in London for many years, Foxy, I'm always aware of people around me. Such a shame people these days in society try to nick things from your pockets or wallets or handbags or things you brought in the shops. It's sad, but that's just the way society is these days. I mean, for example, in London, well, I didn't used to because I didn't have you know, the super smartphones and all that stuff. But I wouldn't recommend wearing headphones in London, that's for sure. When you're out and about, listening to music, even on the tube, I wouldn't recommend it. Always be aware of your surroundings, because even if you had headphones on, people are there'll be snatchers that always will see someone with headphones on and will take that opportunity either to catch them off guard and take something from them, or even take their headphones even. Philip W, I have done this train ride like 20 times in real life. Way, 20 times. It's so fast. It certainly is. I mean, to my German viewers, does the route look realistic to you? Do you think the route portrays Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel to Würzburg well? I mean, it certainly looks good. I imagine it's not 100% realistic, but I imagine it looks pretty good. I imagine it's close in some areas to its real-life counterparts. I'm certainly enjoying it. Certainly a challenge, more of a challenge than I was expecting. That adds to the fun. Foxy, and get the Deutsche Bahn app. Oh yeah, there's an app, isn't there? Of course there is. You can see any local information on bus routes, etc., because then you don't have to figure out every single line by hand. Yeah, I forgot. Oh, I think I'll definitely recommend. I'll definitely tell my cousin that. Look out for Deutsche Bahn's app on the App Store. Probably will just download it now, just so I don't forget. Foxy, the valleys, of course. So I'm not sure about the stations, but I never got off there. But it is pretty close to the real one. That's good. Foxy, how do you travel in Europe then by train? That's the idea. By train, that's the idea. Hoping to get the Eurostars to Brussels and then make our way around the respective cities that we want to visit by, I suppose, either Deutsche Bahn, but the Netherlands is different because I don't think Deutsche Bahn does services to Amsterdam. I may be wrong, but of course things can change. I mean, Eurostar decided next year it's going to suspend its service going to Disneyland, so you never know. We got over 25 kilometers to go until Würzburg. We've got some tracks down below us, well, either side of us I should say. There they are. Yeah, some trackages has come into play. Philip is actually going to take this route next week to Hamburg. Oh well. Deutsche Bahn Navigator. Is that what the app's called, Foxy? Ah, right, I see. Let's make a note of that actually. DB Navigator. Put that in my notes. Philip, visually is pretty close. Would like to see it without the fog and the rain. Oh, I did a trip earlier without the fog and rain. Not all of the route, no. I did a service from Fluder to Kassel earlier in the stream. So if you want to watch that back, then more than happy to. More than welcome to. Only took me 35 minutes, so it's a pretty quick visual blast from Fluder to Kassel. Funny enough, it's not the fastest route I think Germany's had in Train Sim World. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think München Augsburg has a faster top speed than this legally. I think it's 290, 300 kilometers per hour. I think the fastest speed you can reach on Kassel Würzburg is 280. Still pretty fast, but not the fastest, I don't think. Can you zoom out of the map? Certainly, Philip. That's where I started. That's Kassel. Fluder is somewhere in the middle. Right there, I think. Or maybe there, actually. And that's Würzburg. And that is where we are. If I pause the main menu quickly, you can see a much more detailed map. You can zoom in and see all the names. Even the freight yards are listed as well. So you got Würzburg there, some mostly freight yards. Fluder's there, yeah. Roughly in the middle. Fantastic. And now we're back in the tunnels again. Then when I turn it on, we're in the tunnel again. You can't win, can you? I'll keep the wipers on for now, I think. Speed limit is actually going to increase, surprisingly, to 250. Even though we're under 10 kilometers away from Würzburg, Hauptbahnhof. Philip W have gone 300 kilometers per hour. Wow, between Nuremberg and Ingolstadt. Wow, pretty quick. You don't get that here in England, in the UK. Wish we did. Would be more fun. Foxy high speed electric. I get Great Western Railway vibes. Oh yeah. Who doesn't like Great Western Express? For a long time it was the only high-speed route in Train Sim World until Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel came along and blew it out of the water. Speaking of blowing out of the water, I do need to watch, it's a David Attenborough science nature documentary. It's called Frozen Planet 2. It recently just came out on television here in the UK. So I'm definitely going to have a look at that. I love those kind of programs that he does. Really, really interesting. Whoa, whoa. Need to slow down. Brakes are pretty good, so we should be okay. Right, we're approaching journey's end. That means I should put my cup of tea down and focus on the driving. And as predicted, we are miles ahead of schedule. Look at that. Nearly... Wow. 6, 7, 8 minutes ahead of schedule. Very good. Oh, there's a big river down there. Ooh. There's some passenger action as well. With this dynamic weather, honestly, I could spend all day, I could spend hours just train spotting one of these stations in the game, honestly. I could do. This is the first time I've been to Würzburg, so oh, it's pretty big, isn't it? There's a big yard there. There's a couple of regional or local services on our right. Seems we're the only intercity express service at Würzburg. Philip is a civil engineering student in Würzburg. Oh, very nice. Oh, the river's the Main River. I think that's how you say it correctly. Or the Main River. I do apologise if I get the German pronunciations incorrect. Oh, there's someone with an umbrella. That's a first. And stop. Alright, awesome. Right, let's get out of that cab. I want to have a look. Let's have a look at Würzburg. Let's see what it's like. There we got a car park. Oh, there's another service coming in. Pin is going somewhere. Yeah, look, you got someone with his... You got a madam here with her umbrella. Why aren't you wearing a coat, love? It's a bit wet, isn't it, for today? Well, there we are. That concludes the service. I was going to have a look around for a bit more, but never mind. It took me just over an hour. This service was originally going from Hamburg Altona to München Hauptbahnhof, and then it was going to go from Hanover Hauptbahnhof to München Hauptbahnhof. So 2 trips for this particular train, but not for me because it is time to end the stream. Well, I've really enjoyed that. I hope you did as well. Certainly enjoyed a blast along Train Sim World's longest route, Germany's Schnellfahrstrecke Kassel to Würzburg. If you'd enjoyed this stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you are watching for the first time, either live or on playback, then I would very appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel for more Train Sim World streams and content. The next stream will be, unfortunately, quite a while away. The next stream will be on October the 2nd, as the normal days which I stream I cannot do due to work commitments, and I will still be in Germany, but albeit very different circumstances. I will be doing some shunting with the DBBR 204 on Main Spuzzardbahn. So I hope you can join me for then. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week. And as always, I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Take care.